Hello, and welcome to the sixth and final round of Don't Table Flip, a Marvel Crisis Protocol tournament that was held at Southern Heights Brewery here in Austin, Texas. I'm Zach Cohen, and with me I've got,
Hey, I'm John Elson.
and we're going to be talking to you guys about this game. Um, so in here on the left, we've got yours truly. I'm playing in this game, running Asgard. And from top to bottom on deployment, I've got Spectacular Spider-Man, Jane Foster, Beta Ray Bill, Wong, and Thor Hero of Midgard. My tactics cards are Odin's Blessing, Rainbow Bridge, Brace for Impact, Patch Up, and Heart of the Worthy. And on the right, with his criminal syndicate, we've got Richard Peavy, who you guys might remember from a previous round, still playing his Kingpin. And from top to bottom, we've got Kingpin, who's hiding behind that X tower up in the top right, with Loki right under it, then Ant-Man, Black Cat, Bullseye, and Lizard. They're all in a little clump there at the bottom, so it can be a little hard to see on this mat with Bullseye kind of right between them. And for tactics cards, he's got Recalibration Matrix, Indomitable, All According to Plan, Brace for Impact, and Instant Recovery. PV's got Prio. The crises are Skrulls and Scoundrels, so we're locked at 20 threat. I know how this game turns out because I played it. But John, you got any thoughts on the squads or matchup before we get going?
I mean, just initially, Scoundrels and Scrolls seems like a pretty good setup for Kingpin. I mean, there's a lot of points on the table. He's brought a lot of stuff for you to get through. Uh, Kingpin himself is weirdly good into Thor 2. He sort of counters a lot of Thor 2's kit. So I don't know. I hesitate to ever say that Asgard is not good fitting with one of these matches, but this is this should be an exciting game.
Yeah, it definitely is. And there's a reason I deployed Thor on the opposite side as King. Although, actually, no, he deployed Kingpin last, so he put Kingpin away from Thor. But we'll see how that turns out. So, yeah, let's get started. All right, so there's the handshake. Um, I got PV powering up here. I chose the table side I did because that size 3 gun turret up on the very top of the screen. The angle makes it maybe a little hard to tell, but it is directly next to that scroll. So anyone that he sends up there has to be on my side of the table. Or if I send someone up there, they're front stopped from a potential push and not really able to get dragged too far into the danger zone. So table side is very important to me here. Plus, there's like so many size threes. All of those gun turrets are size threes. Those three little like generator things down the middle are all size three. So that's a big reason that I played Jane, honestly. Like Scoundrels is one that I'm still not totally sure is better for Jane or better for Loki. Like both of them are pretty good on it. But the amount of terrain to throw on this table definitely influenced me to go Jane over Loki.
That makes sense. You also have Spectacular in this list. Is that's a Scoundrels pick?
He was originally put in this list as a Fisk pick, just as like he's good at displacement. He doesn't care if he's stunned because all his attacks are gainers. But yes, he's great on scoundrels and he's great against criminals because having someone that can just get people off of points is fantastic when they count double. All right, so we
Yeah.
got PV going up with Kingpin as his first activation to grab this scroll over here. Like I mentioned, he can't really sit a full one back. He had to come up along the side of the turret, and real unlucky for him, he got pushed.
Ooh.
Yeah, you definitely don't want your leader, even a leader as tough as Kingpin, getting thrown into the. I wanted to say wolf nest, but wolves don't have nests. That's not an expression. But getting thrown into the Asgardians. I
What
definitely
do you
feel
think
really
about
happy about that.
what do you think about using Kingpin as the person to get that extract. I mean, obviously, if you fail the push, then it looks bad afterwards. But it seems like the core part of your strategy is going to be killing Kingpin, and he's
Mhm.
helping you out a little bit with that.
Yeah, it feels a little bit risky to me. Um, I might have. I think what he's maybe thinking is that Loki can go up and save Kingpin
Mm,
with a go forth, which seems kind of like seems okay if that's his second activation to do that. But otherwise, I would kind of rather throw Loki up there. He's unappealing for me to attack because of the skull thing, and he's just less valuable because he's not the leader. Um,
yeah,
so here, what's happening is I've got Bill going and grabbing a scroll. I had measured at first to see if I could go up there and grab the scroll and be in range two of Kingpin, so I could also give him a punch, but I couldn't. So decided to just send him over to the north, my like northwest scoundrel point. Um, he is not doing the go forth thing with Loki. He is running and grabbing the middle scroll with him. And one move from where he deployed didn't get him there. So I guess I would have liked, well, one might have liked to see Loki deployed a little bit more centrally if he's going to be doing that, right? So that he can actually grab in one move and then go somewhere else. But he's standing in the middle, which, again, Loki, especially in cover, is not a model that's likely to go down in one round from here, especially like he's out of line of sight of anywhere Thor might really take him or be able to go to hit him. So
that makes sense. And so I don't remember the power on Loki too. So he can't go forth if he grabs a scroll. Is that true?
right, go forth cost two. Oh god, yeah, Loki failing two of those on four dice is rough.
Brutal.
Um, but yeah, I think I would have rather had someone else pick up that again. I wouldn't have rather. I love this play because I'm the opponent. I'm the Asgard player. But a hypothetical neutral observer, I think the better play for Loki would have been to walk onto that northeast scoundrel and bring Kingpin back.
Mm-hmm. So let's see. What was the decision making in terms of putting Thor down at the bottom? Like, where you deploy Thor is going to affect so much of the game. What was the thought process?
Um, the thought process was I knew Jane is going to go on one side and Thor is going to go on the other side,
Mm,
and my deployment, like him having six models to my five, as well as just his models generally being less like individually important, um, means that at a certain point I just kind of have to pick a side for each of them and just trust that they can do work on their own. Wong, by the way, meditated, passed a power to Jane, and then walked onto the scoundrel. But just in general, like I like having a threat on both sides, you know. And with this table, a lot of the big terrain is in the middle. So when I'm thinking about like where to put them as far as who can throw what, it's kind of even there. So I don't know that I really had too many like decision points as far as my deployment.
that makes sense. So right now you have one scroll and he's got two, right? Is he going for the third one here?
He is going for the third one. I felt okay letting him get three. I'm gonna go down on points this round. Like I know that's gonna be the case, but given that he's Kingpin Criminal Syndicate, I have to focus on dazing his models as fast as possible, more than
Hmm.
trying to rush him for early points. Because he finally makes a scroll roll with Lizard.
You did it.
We did it. Because yeah, like I'm not gonna win secures if I'm just going and picking up extracts. He's got models like Black Cat and Ant Man that can come sit on my back secures if he really wants to, and like win them out from me. So if I'm going to like tie that, or even just tie them. I've got to kind of stay on them. I'm checking 2 from Lizard for the Jane leadership, see if I can get in there for a reroll.
Okay.
So I'm kind of okay letting him get those scrolls if it brings his models closer to me to start killing.
Yeah, that makes sense, especially with the chance of the push, which has panned out quite well.
Yeah.
So are you going with Jane right now, charging Kingpin?
No, Spectacular Spider-Man's going first.
Okay.
I wanted to make sure that he could walk and get the range 3 5-die attack. Because if Jane goes and like throws Kingpin, that might end up out of range 3 of Spidey, and then he would have to do the like 4-die impact webbing.
Mm,
But he goes up, he only hits Kingpin for 1. He gets his elusive trigger to walk a little bit farther onto the point. Um, so Kingpin unfortunately does now have power to reduce. And there is an argument though that I should have still gone first with Jane because getting a hit with her before he has damage reduction power is better because power on her is more important.
mm.
But she's still waiting in the wings. Yeah, Bullseye just going, sitting on a back point, doing Bullseye things, hiding from Thor.
Incredible value for 2 points. Yeah,
Dude, I mean, every time I play Bullseye in my Spider Foes, it kind of makes me think, like, why am I not playing more Bullseye?
so good. Yeah, I don't know. There's all of the two threats that people are playing are kind of ridiculous right now.
I really hope that we do get another two threat at some point. Like, I know some people have theorized that AMG is just, like, done making them, but I hope that's not the case.
Yeah.
Alright, so
Okay,
here's the
so this
Jane charge.
yeah.
And we've got the reroll 2 for the charge. Um, I don't. Okay, we are in range 2, so I've got a leadership reroll as well. And I don't actually push any damage there. It's 3 to 2. He reduced it. I had the wild, but decided not to throw because that would throw him out of my attack range.
And this is really important in terms of like if you think about how many turns the game is likely to go with 9 points on the table, if Kingpin gets through this, if he could get through round 2 without being dazed, that'd be incredible. But as long as he gets through this, he'll be around on turn 3. So
Yeah, and he does. Like I had a great roll, but so did PV. It was a 5 hits to 3 blocks, and Kingpin didn't have power for reduction. I have the throw, and I throw him into some terrain, really just to burn his power. Because I know obviously he can reduce it, but if I'm burning his power on that, then it is keeping his throw and his spender farther out of reach. Because
definitely,
yeah,
displacement on Kingpin is just so annoying. He really wants to get stuck in and do
yeah.
work.
But I mean, I'm gonna have priority round 2, and killing Kingpin is certainly high on my list of priorities.
So he's got Ant-Man and what Black Cat left.
Mm-hmm. And I've got
Cool.
Thor. So
And Ant-Man is an interesting pick. I don't see him a lot. He's so mobile. I mean, he seems great with Kingpin.
yeah, I mean he can just go anywhere he wants, kind of, and count as 2, and put out some pretty respectable damage. I definitely like the Ant-Man pick. Adam was running a bunch of Ant-Man back when he was playing Criminal Syndicate.
That's true.
Yeah.
Ant-Man should be a criminal, just saying.
I like this move a lot of just Black Cat rotating to the other side of the table. Like, there's my one extract is over there, and there's no reason for her to stick around and get splash damage to death by Thor, right?
Yeah,
Plus
if you have
Wong,
to pick someone in the team to go into, Lizard for Thor is pretty good.
yeah. Plus
Like
Wong is
for
over on this side, so Black Cat can't really like stick staggers.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, what were you saying?
Oh, if PV has to choose someone for Thor to just sort of chainsaw through,
Oh
Lizard
yeah,
is a pretty solid choice for that.
absolutely. I land 3 damage on Lizard though, and ping 1 onto Bullseye in the process. Um, with the push. I
Nice.
think I'm trying to keep him out of range too, so that Lizard can't throw me without moving closer. Like if Lizard activates first, he can't just like throw me away and then double walk.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. And then here is where I definitely make a mistake. Um, yeah. So I throw the bigger piece of terrain at Lizard. When I
Okay.
should have thrown, it was a size 3. I should have thrown the size 2 in front of me because then that would leave me with like a pounce path. But
This is a
now,
very densely like populated board. It is sort of hard for Thor to move around. Although it
yes,
does mean he has a lot of stuff to throw at people, so pros and cons.
yeah. So he blocked one, reduced one, so took two. So Lizard is on 1 health.
Okay.
But Thor is out of ways to damage Lizard this round. But certainly happy putting that much work in early on.
All right. And now the mystery of where that man is going to end up
Yeah.
could be any.
There's currently nobody on the middle scoundrel. So Ant-Man could go score that himself. He could, I think, make it to either of my home scoundrels and tie them because I've got two people on each of them.
Mhm.
So I don't think he can get somewhere and make an attack with like the move teleport. Um,
So you can move, place range 3, and then do the attack that changes size and maybe try to move back, but I don't know.
yeah,
Doesn't
he
seem
like
like that.
might have had range to bill for that, but yeah, looks like he's just going to the middle, which makes sense. I mean, Kingpin is gonna want to rush points more than deny me points. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's a 3-6 score at the end of round one in favor of criminals.
Yeah, I mean, you have to expect that with Kingpin.
Yeah.
So at this point, how are you feeling? Like, is 6 points, obviously it's a little nerve-wracking, but is that like, that's what you expected to happen, everything?
Yeah, this is still kind of like within tolerance. I didn't do as much damage to Kingpin as I would have liked, but I did probably more than expected to Lizard. So I feel pretty good about how the round's going to go. So Jane's starting off by charging. So we're going to go try to finish off Kingpin if we can. And just getting up in her face because, or up in his face because we want that leadership reroll. I think I rolled like 4 skulls on that roll. Yep, 4 of them.
Yeah.
I'm getting flashbacks to round 5 of Jane just putzing around on the top of the screen on scout on this exact same crisis combination. But yeah, we do get the wild, so it's a throw into Black Cat because
Okay,
we love to throw people into Black Cat.
that is true.
Yeah,
Kingpin doesn't care, but bad time
yeah,
for Black Cat.
yeah. He's thinking about the brace, but now taking it, and looks like she blocks 1 and takes 3, which that's a big ouch. That is certainly a big ouch, especially because Jane has another attack. Yeah, I did
I
have
see.
throw him out of range too.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth it for the throw on Cat, though,
Yeah,
especially if you
it's
get to.
free value.
At this point, are you thinking about whether you want to attack Black Cat? I mean,
Um,
you obviously want to focus down Kingpin, but if she has 2 left,
she's in cover, so like
hmm,
I don't think there's ever a thought of doing that. Like, and plus attacking Kingpin can potentially give me more damage into Black Cat if I just hit another wild, and
yeah, that
like
makes sense.
getting Kingpin down is important. But again, I push no damage, but I do get the throw.
Nice.
And
And I really like the way that PV is an incredible player, and he's set this board up really well. Like,
mhm.
Thor is gonna murder Lizard. That's fine. All of the extracts are up on the top. Like, he's holding his own with Kingpin. Yeah,
Yeah, he's certainly in an all right board position. I think he's still thinking about brace, and yeah, again, opting not to. Cat Cat goes down here. Yeah,
okay.
Jane is left sadly without enough power to throw any terrain at Kingpin. So she still got a kill, not the kill she was trying to get, but we take those.
Am I doing the math right? You still retain priority because you went first?
Yes, because he is one wider than me.
Okay,
And I mean, retaining priority against criminals is such a nebulous thing because of all according to plan.
that's fair.
So it's kind of a question of like retaining priority or costing him 10 power, which I'm often okay with also. Although he's got a lot of models like Black Cat and Loki that if they get powered up can't spend it all, really.
Right.
So are kind of happy to use it. So yeah, it's Lizard running away, which makes sense and was why I kept him out of two so that he couldn't just throw Thor on his way out.
Nice.
And like the activation
Nice.
here also heals him a point, so it makes him
Yeah.
take a little
So
bit more effort.
it feels so bad to leave someone at one, and then Thor just rolls the wild, and yeah.
I don't know. I think that feels pretty great.
It's
I,
actually really good.
I think it's cool and good. Yeah. Maybe
Uh,
even the coolest and goodest.
I'm really seeing what you mean about throwing the wrong piece of terrain there. This would be an incredible like pounce and then beat up people.
Yeah. I mean, in it's not that bad because I can still walk and then save my pounce for hitting into someone. Because from here, I wouldn't be able to pounce into someone. Um, his builder
Generically,
does do more damage on average than his pounce,
okay,
but
that's what I was going to ask, if you have a preference between them.
the math says that his builder is better than a size 3 throw, but worse than a size 4 throw.
Hmm.
But also, guarantees are nice.
True, true.
Yeah. It's look, it's hard to go completely wrong with a Thor activation.
It's true. It just does Thor things. It's fine.
Yeah. Um and yeah, it's time for Thor things now. So I think actually, yeah, you know what? It actually isn't that big a deal that he didn't. It probably is better to do it this way anyway, because that walk didn't get him on the point.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so anyone he attacks will be in cover. So I think I'm debating here. I'm going a little for a little greed and pouncing into Bullseye rather than Lizard,
Hmm.
because um, if I can just clear this point, that
Yeah.
feels pretty incredible. Because then I've got to divert either Ant Man to come over and he's pretty easy for me to deal with, or divert Loki to come down and he's holding an extract, and that I'm also happy to have over here. But this draws out Brace,
You think
which
Brace. Okay.
again I'm also happy to get Brace out as soon as possible.
Especially on Bullseye. I mean, as incredible as he is a two-threat model.
Yeah. So that's a pretty big hit into Lizard,
Ooh, okay.
and I do get the wild to ping into Bullseye.
Can Bullseye parting shot off of that?
He
Or is it not part of the attack?
he cannot.
Okay.
Maybe I didn't do. I don't know why I'm pushing Lizard. I thought I dazed him here.
Yeah, that's weird.
I guess I didn't.
Okay, but now you're throwing the whatever that is at
Yeah,
Lizard.
that's a size 3.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's one damage to Lizard to daze him.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? Did he play? Yes, he played instant recovery round one with Lizard. That's what
Okay, that
happened. Thor got his extract, was not pushed, and is standing there for bullseye. Yes, okay, the instant recovery, that makes sense, because, like, the power, like, I know I did that much damage, because I have that much power.
this is awkward for Bullseye. I mean, you would like to attack Thor and get some value, but there's a non-zero chance his counterattack just kills Bullseye.
Yeah, bullseye has to do 3 damage for that to come online, though, because Thor is out of power.
Oh, never mind. This is the time for it
Grip it
to
and
show
rip
up.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, so if you're PV here, who are you activating?
that's a good question. I don't know what PV's plan is for Loki. That's like the big question in my mind.
Hmm.
Like, is he gonna try to use him to push Kingpin forward, pull Kingpin back? Like, are you trying to delay that activation? I'm not really sure.
Yeah. I I kind of don't hate him activating Ant-Man and going over to try to bully Wong.
Oh, I like that a lot. Yeah,
Because, like, Ant-Man, I think, is maybe close enough to because he's still big right now. Transform small, then which gives him a place, then catch a ride, get range 3, and that might get him to within range 1 of Wong to, like, punch. And if he's able to do that, then that seems pretty good, because that would take one of my secure points and just take an activation off me. So, I don't know.
and then he'd be winning both of the bottom scoundrels. It's
Yeah,
pretty solid.
yeah, that would certainly seem pretty good.
How
But
many points do you think PV needs to get this round to be on track? Like, it's either 5 or 6, if I had to guess.
I think he needs at least 5 to like not start losing steam. Like, I think if he's on 11 points at the end of round 2, then he can do like 2 and 3 or 3 and 2 in the next rounds, and like he can still lose out on points and stay ahead. But if he falls too far behind, then things start looking really bad as models start dazing and he loses the effect of the leadership. So this is just a Kingpin walking over over on and staying on the point. Uh,
Interesting.
yeah, I think he
Retreating.
only has 1 power on him, or else because if he had 2, throwing that size 3 terrain, even just into space. I mean, obviously at some would be preferred, but just throwing it before I can throw it, I think would be really good.
Maybe don't understand the timing of that move because you did it get him out of charge range for Foster?
Oh, she's already gone.
Okay.
I think what it did is get him away from Bill, but Bill was actually able to get it, or not Bill, Spectacular.
Okay.
Because now, but Bill was able to get exactly where he wanted in 1 move, on the point and within 2 of the piece of size 4 terrain. So Bill's kind of sitting pretty here, even though he's already holding an extract.
And you said he is on the point?
He is.
Nice.
But that was a big hit, landing 3 damage and the stun.
Ooh.
So
And the stun in Kingpin is really annoying.
yeah, it's not too big a deal because he's only got 1 health left.
That's true.
But yeah, throwing the size 4 to get the 1 damage I need, which it's never
The
too
one
greedy
always.
against a reduced to 0 model.
Okay, but it looks like you do get him.
Yes, he goes down, but Bill importantly can't pick it up. So it's going to be on the ground. I would love for Spidey to get it, but and like Loki's also holding one, so if he wants to get it, then Ant-Man's got to come over there.
Man, Ant-Man is such a miserable extract holder. Like he
Yeah,
wants to be transforming constantly and he drops them every time he does.
yeah. I would love to see if Ant-Man and Wasp both got a superpower where whenever they transform, they get to choose where they drop the extract.
Oh, that
I
would be awesome.
That would be such a cool buff for them because like they never see play ever.
Particularly, I mean, you see Ant-Man very occasionally, but
Yeah,
Wasp, I don't think I've ever seen on the table.
yeah, not even in her home affiliations. Um, oh, but he. Oh, so actually, no, that's what he does here. Kingpin has two parts to his leadership. So it's not just the counting double on secures, it's also the passing extracts. So Loki
Uh,
tossed his extract over to Ant-Man and then came
uh,
over here so that he can get um, that extract. And yeah, Loki's hitting Bill, which got a good block. So don't take any damage with after I reduce.
and
I
Bill's having a great game. What a model. What a
What a
guy.
guy! Hey, I don't know if anyone's ever said this, but Bill's very good. Oh, right, and he didn't have enough. He spent both of his power to pass over to Ant Man.
Oh, man, he really needed to get one power.
Yeah, so I do have the chance to get spectacular over there. Okay, that's right. That's right. Okay, I'm remembering more about this game as we talk about it. It was about a month ago that we played it. Um, but this kind of goes into my general philosophy when playing against Kingpin criminals,
Mm,
where I don't care about scoring points as long as I can stop him from scoring points. So
yep.
right now, Loki is his only scoring model on that point. So if I put Spectacular on it, we're tying. And
Hmm.
then if he wants to move Ant-Man to like take my empty bottom point, that's fine because he could. If I leave Spectacular there, he can come take it anyway. So I'm just gonna push forward and try to tie points as much as I can until I can daze enough models that they don't count double anymore.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, PV is the one. It's weird because it seems like criminals is very passive, but in reality, they have to be incredibly aggressive, score the
Hmm.
points early, because
Hmm.
you're gonna get through them.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Spidey grabs it. He's good. Um, yeah, because like if criminals, it's tough, right? Because I think they've got a very difficult. Kingpin specifically is a very difficult place in the meta, just as kind of a gear check and a knowledge check,
Hmm.
where um, if he so Spidey whiffs this attack, chooses not to take the Jane reroll and potentially give Loki a skull. It's just not worth it. Um, I got the wild, so I'm able to push him. So it wasn't a complete whiff, but he blocked everything. What I was saying about Kingpin is, uh, as you can kind of see in the rounds 2 and 3 videos, where you had PV and Kenneth both on camera playing Kingpin, if people aren't prepared for Kingpin, he can still just walk all over a game. But if you've got people who have the right combination, or people in teams mostly that have the right combination of damage and displacement, uh, then it can like Kingpin can feel a little bit mopey sometimes.
It does feel like the level of damage in the game has grown past what Kingpin was made for originally.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know that there were very many people who could just go through Lizard like with great efficiency.
Hmm. Or Kingpin
So,
himself. Well, I mean, that took a few activations, but still.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and it looks like Spidey's actually not on the point. Bill was kind of body blocking him from getting on the point, so he has the extract. But right now, Ant-Man can come and just steal that secure.
Hmm. And Ant-Man's in a tough spot. I mean, if he can't really transform, I don't know that he has like a great activation. Maybe just double walking over there is a good idea.
Yeah, just be in position for later. Yeah, him holding an extract is really not what you want. Okay, just threw an activated token on Bullseye. I think Bullseye just like
doesn't want to get counterattacked.
Yeah, I think he basically just passes. So I'm moving Thor just so that I can get a range one out there to figure out where the point is. Yeah, Bullseye totally makes sense. Doesn't want to accidentally give Thor enough power to counterattack. So he here is that philosophy I was just talking about in action. I would rather have Wong come over here and deny that so that nobody scores that point than have Wong stay back and have us each score a point.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He's got a 3 victory point lead from round one, so if I can keep it to a gap like that or even narrow it, great. As long as the gap doesn't grow too much, I feel fine. I've got 3 dazes this round, um, so his leadership power is already significantly diminished, and I'm
Okay.
pretty all right with
He's
that.
making the move we talked about.
Yeah, which makes sense, right? Like I've got 2 extracts up there now,
Yeah.
so that's kind of where the fight needs to happen.
Oh, he gets an attack too.
Yeah, it's only a 4 die, but you know, grunts make 4 die attacks, and they're the deadliest models in the game.
Low expectations for an attack. That's the secret.
Yeah, so this is a 4 die punch into Spider-Man,
Okay.
and no damage gets through.
Some sort of like insect arachnid joke here to be made. I don't know.
Perhaps a man of such. So yeah, I definitely narrowed the gap here. Score is now 6-8, still in favor of criminals, but I've got 3 of the extracts. He had 1 extract and 1 secure. It's pretty crazy for a scoundrels game for like only 1 secure to get scored in a round. Like there's
That
five
is
of them on the board, and right now 3 of them have no people on them.
wow. This is the Thor 2 wasteland. Everybody's just dead.
Yeah, or clustered. Like there are one, two, three. There's 5 models all clustered around the northeast scoundrel.
How do you feel about adding to that cluster versus moving Ant-Man hypothetically to one of the scoundrels on the left?
Um, it doesn't feel good for him to be there because again, he has an extract now. He's somewhat in danger, but it also takes a point from me.
Hmm.
So if Ant Man goes anywhere else, then PV's score is the same, but now it's 7-8 instead of 6-8. So I guess if you're trying to play the points race game, although I don't know though, because he does have an extract, so it probably is better for him to just like run. I honestly maybe it might be best for him to just stay in the middle.
That's true. It is awkward for everybody else to sort of interact with.
Yeah,
It
or
gives
go
him
down to like the southwest because with positioning, like it splits Thor's focus. Like there's stuff in the way of pounces.
I was gonna
Something
say it gives Thor too many targets, but I don't know, man. Thor is very good at going through multiple people.
he likes a target-rich environment. Yeah. So I think there's all according to plan pondering happening here.
Hmm, that's interesting. Okay, so if he all according to plan, who do we think goes first? There's probably a
Um,
good Kingpin activation.
there's probably a good Kingpin activation. I think Bill's the only person he's within 2 of. Black Cat, I think, is within 1 of Spidey, so could just start off by stealing. And she might be within 3 of Jane, so like a Black Cat steal stagger could be pretty good. Doesn't look like he left her enough power to do that. And I truly don't remember what he does with his first activation here, so we'll find out.
Yeah.
Might be a
Oh,
loop.
that's an act. token. I was like, it looks like he left around exactly 5,
Oh
which would
yeah, yeah,
be
yeah. He puts his activation tokens on the card and then moves them to the character once they've gone.
that makes sense. Okay, so he did steal the priority, right?
Yes. Yeah. Who would you be looking to activate first?
Um, Blackhead is a good choice for it, just to like you could double stagger right now.
Yeah, that's
Kingpin
true.
maybe. I don't know. Maybe you're trying to activate Kingpin later in the round.
Yeah, he was measuring 3 from Loki to Spider-Man, which that seems okay because Spidey's not on the secure, so that could be maybe an easy kill. Yeah, and that's what's happening.
Okay,
Loki just rolled the nuts.
nice. I was gonna say Loki has been having a bad game, but maybe he's gonna get back into it.
Yeah. Yeah, I take 4 on that. No Spider Sense because it's Mystic. The leadership reroll, I think, stopped me from getting one shot. And I'm just happy I didn't roll any skulls.
Right. Is he gonna do it again?
I don't remember if he does that or if he does the spender because Bill is in that as well. 3. He's got what 6 power. I probably wouldn't do the spender. If I was him, I would do another builder and then go fourth on someone. I don't know that anyone necessarily needs to be fourth from where they are, but
If you
you,
wanted to give like Kingpin more targets or something, maybe you would. Or
yeah, it can just be a little. Oh no, okay. I remember what happens here. It's kind of funny, so I don't want to spoil it. Okay, yeah, I just rolled 2 skulls, so he's got the kill. Easy.
just that low-key magic, man, that
You
everyone
love.
loves.
I mean, look, I can't hate on it.
He's not carrying an extract right now. Can he go
Oh, that's
forth
right.
himself?
He's not. He
Or
can't, but I think he is in range to pick it up.
okay,
Yes. He does get pushed
that's good.
because, of course, he
Okay.
does. It's been really bad luck on the scroll rolls for him. Okay,
It's like a
so
70% to hit it if you have 4 dice.
at
I think
least I
that's
think
right.
it's more. It might be. I'm not sure. I can look that up actually. So I'm figuring out where I want to push him because there's a thought that I might want to push him closer so that Jane can like get in there. But I'm measuring to see if Jane actually has a landing spot with like
Mhm.
where everyone is. And I determined that I do, but it's fairly small. So he is. I push him there. I should have probably been a little bit more careful to push him outside 4 of Kingpin. That might not have been possible, but maybe if I go a little bit more north. Um, because yeah, I just measured and figured out just how precarious that landing spot is for Jane, and
Right.
he's got to go for it. Oh no, you're right. It's 68.35%, so it's a little worse than 70. Um,
Okay. So is he looking to go forth Kingpin then? Maybe Black where you're looking to go?
he is using go forth on Kingpin, yeah. Um, he's thinking about where he wants to go. But yeah, he just goes a little bit and completely leaves me my landing spot open that he just saw me measure.
It's just sportsmanship, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just because you revealed the plan. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just moving or just rotating Spider-Man because that's a model with a bunch of bits and bobs that can get in the way of stuff. So yeah, Kingpin
Yeah.
easily could have been placed such that Jane did not have a spot there. And I mean, maybe he eyeballed it and thought he was far enough up because like it is still a pretty tight zone.
And just like a puzzle piece just sliding in there. That's
Hmm.
crazy.
Yeah,
All
so
right, so
she's
she's charging Kingpin.
no, she's punching Ant-Man.
Ant-Man. Okay.
Yeah, Ant-Man's got the extract, so I
Oh
need
yeah,
to
that makes sense.
try to dislodge that because now that I'm plus he's still healthy. So
Oh,
I've got to daze the healthy people and I've got to get the extracts. Like we're in the part of the game where I can kind of start thinking about scoring points.
his healthy people right now are Bullseye and Ant-Man. Is that it?
And Loki.
Oh,
But
Loki. Okay.
Loki is nowhere near as
Yeah.
secure. Um I'm not sure how much damage I just did. I had 4 hits, but I don't know how many he blocked in Ant-Man. Okay, I guess I did 3 because I just spent it all to throw terrain. And I think he's thinking about the transform.
The
Um,
transform gives him reroll any on dodge rolls.
it does.
Pretty
And
cool.
which like the thought makes sense because if you think that you're not like Jane still is another action. If you think
Yeah.
you're going to die anyway, then try like if you're going to lose the extract anyway, then maybe you can still just try to preserve his activation.
Does look like he is going for it.
Yeah, I think we might actually be figuring out if he does in fact drop the extract. Okay, it's a oh no, it's the order of
Oh,
operations
wait.
of yeah,
Yeah.
drop first or place first. And yeah, he does drop before he places.
Drops and then transforms. Yeah. Okay.
Mhm. I'm
Yeah,
sure
that's
this is very difficult to see what's going on camera between the video quality issues we had and just all of the models being in too little clusters.
makes it easy to remember like who is next to who. Uh,
Yeah. So I tucked the
yeah.
extra kind of under Bill's base right there because I wanted to make sure it was out of one of Kingpin. That does daze Ant-Man.
Okay. Worth a shot.
Yeah.
So she's having another attack, presumably in the Kingpin. Um,
Yeah, probably into Kingpin to try to throw him away. That seems like something I would do. That's 4 dice, so it must have been into Kingpin. Uh, yeah, I had 1, no skulls, so no throws.
okay.
Oh yeah, and she needed 1 damage to be able to pick up the scroll, which she
Oh,
didn't
that's
get. So the scroll remains under Bill's big fat butt, and which means that I've got no one up there that can pick it up because Bill still has one, and Spidey's dazed.
oh, that's interesting. So he's got a little bit of freedom in terms of like who to activate next.
Yeah, especially if he can wait on Black Cat until after I am forced to activate Bill.
Hmm.
Because like if Black Cat steals from Bill, then he can just pick it up, but or Kingpin can just grab it first. Like he's as long yeah he's got a lot of freedom up there. Um,
Wonder who is okay.
so yeah, what do you do as the Kingpin player here? Do you
I'm
start
trying to decide.
spreading out?
Yeah, like this general pattern of being clumped up, I feel like is very bad for a criminal syndicate, but
Hmm.
um I it also like came to be for a reason. I wonder if Kingpin can do some work in terms of like throwing Jane away with street level negotiations. I don't know, headbutt someone, go grab the extract. Um, that's one thing you could do. You could like run Bullseye somewhere,
Hmm.
just like run him away,
Yeah,
like to the points on the left.
he's still
Um,
healthy too.
yeah, and that gives like Thor sort of an awkward. Is he gonna like spend a whole activation just like scouring Bullseye from the earth, and that kills him scores anyway?
Yeah, scattering could certainly be worth it. His movement actions, just in general, are less or his actions in general are less valuable than mine, right? Between
Yeah.
having more characters and less power concentrated in a couple models. Um,
And you do have ways to like move efficiently with charge and the pounce, but definitely you want to be like these like groups you can double tap every turn, and
yeah.
that's very bad.
All right. That was.
So the hail to the king.
It looks like a 6 die attack, so I don't actually know what that was. Oh no, that must have been a troublemaker.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so that was a
That makes
troublemaker into Bill. So this was exactly what we were just saying he shouldn't do. Activate Black Cat before Liz or before Bill.
yeah. I have
Um, she
maybe
could
he
always
is anxious to like not lose her to throws. It's
that yeah, that is completely reasonable. Um,
it has been the only thing or one of the things that's effective against Asgard is staggering them, just because as you were talking about, they're so high quality models, every action out of them is important. And
totally.
so Black Cat hasn't had a great chance to do that.
No, I mean this is her first activation since round one.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so yeah, here's the scattering we were talking about. So he leaves the extract in place under Bill, but just walk over to that other point, which I like, especially with Bill staggered. Um, I don't think he can get on that point back there and throw her off. Like I think she's in a position to body block his access to the point with one move.
Does he have 4 power on him? So he
Bill,
could do both. Yeah.
I think he has 3 power.
Okay.
What do you mean do
Yeah,
both?
I like that a lot. Oh, both pick up the point or both pick up the extract. Oh, he can't. He's holding
Right,
one.
he's already holding one. Okay, so it's Thor trying to just take Lizard off the table.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and I've got if I can do like ping damage to Bullseye on the way, which I get a ping on him. I only do one to Lizard here. Bullseye, again, off the top, I think has 3 health left at this point.
I
Because I
think so.
think the only damage um, has been Bull's the ping. Lizard blocked very well there. But Thor hit very well and still pushes 2 damage through. Okay, so that ping dazes Bullseye. I'm not
That's interesting.
totally
So he does have
sure.
2 damage somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know where that extra one came from.
And 4, so efficient.
What a guy.
Always throwing yourself at people. Come on.
What would my wife say? All right, so yeah, this is the pounce into Lizard. Jane is some collateral damage in that, but I think Lizard dies to this.
Ooh,
Yeah,
yeah, that's a big loss.
yeah, getting Lizard and Bullseye there is a big deal.
If he lives, he can throw Thor off of the point and I don't know. Or just like double walk over to the other one or
Hmm.
yeah, that's pretty rough.
Yeah. PV is maintaining priority. I did too much murder to get priority, but I'm pretty okay with
Probably.
that.
Yeah, I mean this it's really about how many points and how quickly he can score them, and he's way behind schedule.
Yeah,
And it doesn't. This turn is not going to do anything to help him. So the long-term plan of outfighting the Asgardians probably not going to work out.
yeah. He's got Kingpin left, and I have Wong and Bill. So there's the opportunity for a pass, but if he does, then Bill could just like throw Kingpin away and then move somewhere else, like move to the middle maybe.
Are you trying to activate Kingpin after Bill so that he can't be thrown off of a point, or before Bill so that he can actually do something on his turn?
I mean, they both feel bad, don't they?
Yeah. I mean, there's not a great option, but
Yeah.
oh, okay. Is he scattering?
He's definitely thinking about scattering. Um, but I don't fully remember. So I get to be surprised, like you and the audience, all of you.
Maybe this is a good time to talk about. So this is round six, but it's not the finals of the tournament. It was the tournament is going to go for 6 rounds no matter what.
That's right.
Um, how did you feel about that playing in the format?
I loved it. I thought it was really cool because space wise, we were limited to 32 players, which I think
Hmm,
we sold out. Like it was a full. I think it was a sold out event with like two no shows, if I remember right, on the day. So I think we had
right.
30 people playing. But Adam really wanted to make it 6 rounds to sort of help incentivize people to travel, right? Because like
Hmm.
5 rounds, if you do it over 2 days, it's like 3 and 2, and 3 games in one day feels kind of lame, or you do 4 and 1, and that doesn't work, or you just do it all in one day. But all of those are like a little bit unappealing for people coming in from out of town, even if it's just as close as like Dallas or Houston, because if you don't want to make that drive 2 days in a row, getting a hotel to then play one game the next day feels bad. Only playing 3 games and then having like so much of the day free feels kind of bad. So
Yeah.
I really liked having the guaranteed six. So the last round was the two 5-0s playing, or two 4-0s playing. So right now in this game, I'm undefeated at 5-0, and PV is 4-1. But if he wins this game, then there's going to be multiple 5-1s. And tiebreakers matter for a winner. There was a really cool trophy that our buddy Nathan painted up. It's this bust of Apocalypse. Um, it looks great. I hate that it's a dirty mutant, but Nathan's an incredible painter and does some amazing bust work. Um,
That is something I really like about the 6 round format is like PV dropped around at some point,
mhm,
and it's not like, okay, I'm out, like it's over. He still has a reasonable chance of, getting the top spot.
yeah,
Anything that causes people to like still be invested, like all of the faction prizes and things like that, love that. So the people are still excited round three, round four.
yeah, absolutely. So PV passed. I go with Wong and just do my own scattering. Yeah, there were best in faction prizes. There pins that I think Apollo made them, or Julie might
Mhm.
have made them, Adam's wife, and they're like this big, with some really cool. They all have artwork from the comics that a couple of our other locals like helped source and find. They say don't table flip best in faction. They look amazing. So I know during round six, so David um, was also at this point 4-1 playing Asgard, but I think he just kind of looked at what was going on and didn't figured that even if he won his last game and I lost, I think he saw that my tie breaks were going to be better, so he wasn't going to get the
Mm.
best Asgard. But he had Agent Venom in his roster because it was an Asgard X Force duel. I don't know if he ever played X Force that day. He might have. I think he played him in one. But what he did was played like 4 threat down leaderless guardians because there were no guardians at the event. So he got that the best in faction badge, and I think stuff like that is really cool. Like best in
Oh,
faction prizes are, I think, my favorite prizes for an event to have.
no, absolutely. It's yeah, it's a lot of fun to be competing against like a smaller segment. You're still
Hmm.
excited even if you lose a couple rounds at the beginning.
Hmm.
I love also the games playing too. People are like, oh, technically I could put together a shield roster. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, very,
Yeah, I mean, what
very,
Brandon did at Second Wind, where he played, I think again it was like 3 points down, played Shield in his final game, so there were no Shield players, and he still won that game,
yeah,
which was
playing
pretty
the
amazing.
several threat down and winning is the real
Yeah,
accomplishment.
yeah. Uh, but Nick Fury, Namor, Hulk is still a pretty good team.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah,
And it's crazy that we're the Guardians this year. Okay.
I think everyone. I mean, I know I was just kind of, well, playing Asgard because I think they're the best thing in the game at this point. Um, but also just on a break from Guardians, especially with the new models coming out. So Kingpin walked and picked up the extract,
Did
and
he make a Trolls roll for once?
he didn't get pushed. Uh, I think I don't know if he's just a little bit in the tank at this point, but he didn't move his full short, and he wasn't max range of the scroll, but I think he just didn't want to move Bill to figure out exactly where it was.
Mm.
Because he definitely had extra range he could have gone, but didn't.
Oh, that's brutal. This is, I mean,
Yes.
round six of a tournament. You got to be pretty, you're getting like Thored pretty hard right now. Like it's really hard to stay mentally in the game.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's the second round of the day, but this table was in the very back of the brewery, and there's a big garage door um, behind us, which was nice for keeping it cool. The problem was it was extremely windy, so we had to close that door because it was blowing terrain and cards around on the table. So we had to close it. So it was also getting pretty warm.
oh yeah, that's a huge factor too.
Yeah,
Just being physically uncomfortable during the round is really distracting.
yes. But that's a Kingpin throw onto Bill away. And this is where I'm saying that not
The heat.
checking that screws him because Kingpin does not get to that point.
Oh man, he totally could have.
Yes.
That's rough. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, Definitely is not what you
I mean,
want.
still the right move to just commit and see if you can get there, but
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
it's tough.
It just feels bad to know that you could have and didn't.
That's the
Uh,
stuff that you gotta shake it off as quickly as possible
oh
because
yeah,
it'll really, yeah.
yeah. If I'm remembering right, Bill doesn't make it to this point either because Bill was staggered, so only has the one move. Yeah. So,
If I convention or not, yeah.
but we're gonna do some violence against Kingpin. I thought about throwing
Trying,
Kingpin, but at this point, I've got a lot more healthy models than he does. Um, and I would rather just get damage and like get some way towards killing Kingpin, especially since he has an extract.
yeah. I mean,
So
he's not on the point anyway. Like he needs to make a move action regardless. So
right. So this round I scored 5 to PV's 3, and we are now tied at 11.
um,
So this is kind of going all according to plan for me. Um, Tied by round 4 feels pretty good with me having a significant attrition lead.
yeah, it's gonna be really hard to put together the 5 points that he needs.
Yeah.
And this is also there's so many points on the board. Even if he somehow grabbed all the extracts and ran, like you could outscore him.
Right, yeah. Like if you just completely abandon the secures and run with 4 extracts, then I just score all 5 secures. And that would get me to the win. Not that I think anyone is really thinking about that kind of line of play. Like he
Yeah,
but Loki being so far out of position from failing that scroll roll is really tough because like he's theoretically your best beater.
And
Uh,
he has had just a really hard time getting into this game. Like so far, he's taken out Spectacular and repositioned Kingpin, right?
yeah,
That's not really 5 threat worth of output.
yeah. I mean, failing two scroll rolls with Loki and one with Kingpin is brutal luck, right?
Yeah.
Um, and those have definitely, especially on models that don't have any action efficiency of their own, that really hurts. Oh yeah, and Bill is at full health. God, I'm just realizing I haven't played any of my tactics cards yet. So he's still got Indomitable, and I've got to look at the list I wrote down to see what that last one is because I can't tell.
Recal.
Recal.
And Indomitable is interesting. How do you feel about that versus like Sacrifice in Criminals?
It makes sense for Kingpin, right? Because like one of the common ways for a lot of teams to deal with counting double on points is just if you're not on a point, you can't count double.
True.
This is a Kingpin punch into Bill, pushes 2 damage through. It might have been a Hail to the King, actually, because I think I just put out a stagger. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So I like Indomitable as a way to just like keep that if you're points racing. But I think I think that feels a little bit like a very old way of thinking about the game.
Hmm.
Whereas sacrifice will help you protect your extracts more, which in a lot of ways are more valuable.
That is something else that has shifted against Kingpin, that in the
Hmm.
current state of the scenarios, the extracts are just so much more valuable than the secures.
Yeah. Indomitable is weird because a lot of tactics cards I feel like are stronger the later in the game you hold them.
Mm.
I kind of feel like Indomitable is at its best in like the early mid game because that's where like it can bet. We're like, yes, if you save it late, it can stop like a last ditch effort for points. But if you use it a little earlier, it can translate into more actions, like getting used in a meaningful way.
Yeah,
Um,
it's tough because it's like a value card. So like
yeah,
when are you getting a good deal for it is very hard to like pin down.
yeah. It's not intuitive. Really, just kind of thinking about it now. I wonder if playing Indomitable on the Loki scroll push last round would have actually been his best use of it.
Oh, that's interesting because Loki just ending up in the middle of nowhere is killing him.
Yeah. Maybe not, because he still wasn't actually in range to, or he wasn't on a point. Um, and he's still in movement range of that point, so I guess it would have, if he's trying to get on secures, it wouldn't have actually gained any actions. I'm not sure. But yeah, Bill
Um,
is taking. Uh, Again, I was not paying attention how much damage he had before, but he's got 4 damage on him now. So however much damage that
I think it was a
was,
full, so 4 over the course of 2 attacks.
yeah.
Um, Indomitable is enemy effect, so
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
dodge the skill, but
Yeah. Um.
yeah,
So yeah, landed the wild. So got the stun. He's pushing me, but Bill has aggressive, so the
just sort
push.
of goes back.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, it lets me reposition a little bit. Because I think now I can use that to be on the point and in range 2 of that terrain to throw.
Yeah,
There's
I'm
also
not
a
sure I
world where I
agree.
just don't aggressive back because he has the or because he has the extract.
Yeah, that's true. It's like I'm not sure about the order of these things. Like if you know you're gonna headbutt him,
Mhm.
well, I guess maybe he was maxed out on power or something. It feels like you headbutt and then you hail to the king. Um,
It looks like he's
uh,
only got 2 power left on him. So, I mean, maybe there's a world where like Hail to the King is more dice, and like if you're in this spot of just kind of looking for outs,
right.
you go for that to try to one shot me, and then you have an action left to walk onto the secure.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that is playing to your outs. That's good
Yeah.
strategy.
Um, yeah,
Let's see.
he's
He's got
throwing.
3
He throws
Okay.
something at me, but I didn't see any terrain actually get picked up. And because I played brace right there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It was the other size three.
Let's just get it all out of there.
Yeah, it was a comment to somebody. Well, I think it was to Brett who was judging that was helping clean up the terrain as we go. So this
Something
is
has an effect of Thor 2 on the game. Sorry.
yeah Jane punching Ant Man. Um, Jane has not rolled great for me this game, and
Let's see. So you're trying to decide if you're going to throw him.
yeah, because I've got no damage coming in. So it looks like I chose not to throw.
Okay.
And yeah, she only has 2 power, so she can't charge for extra rerolls.
Is he small? Should he be re-rolling these?
He didn't need to on the first one. He blocked
Uh,
it all naturally. Yeah. Okay, she did very well there and got 4 damage.
oof.
So yeah, I'm checking to see if I can smack him into Kingpin with the wild throw, but I'm not allowed to pre-measure that angle because the rules of this game are cool and good.
That is such a random thing not to be able to
It's
pre-measure.
so
I hate that.
strange.
And people mess it up all the time. Like they go in for the to see whether or not something will work out. It's very
Yeah.
awkward to say no. You have to like commit to it before you do it.
It does feel bad, right? Like having to police that is just like, come on, I don't want to be a cop about this. But also, like, it is the rule.
Well,
Yeah,
that's it for me.
yeah. Jane fully redeems herself there for damage on that second hit, and then a size 2 throw to kill him. So at this point, I mean, you've got Bullseye, you've got Black Cat, and you've got Loki. Uh, you have extracts on Loki and Kingpin. The one on Loki's pretty safe, right? Like I've got no one that can threaten him there. Uh, this is Bullseye throwing knives at Bill, which is very often like unless Bullseye really like spikes attacks. This is really just like power taxing,
Yeah, that makes sense.
which like does certainly have value of just knocking power off my guy.
It's
Okay, so that's a
also
hit and run.
basically free for him. Yeah,
Yeah. So also not on the point, but at this point he's injured. Bill's healthy, so there's no
yeah.
reason to double walk. You might as well throw the attack.
Plus, you never know, man. Sometimes Bullseye just pops off and kills
Yeah,
people.
I mean Bill's only got 2 health left, so very very much like why not take the attack?
Yeah. So
Uh,
just shakes you're in retreat.
yeah, yeah. I have 2 extracts at the moment, and so if I can score 3 of the secures, then I'll clinch it this round.
Seems like it is going to be hard to stop you. Um,
It does, doesn't it? um, because even if Loki comes down and kills Spider-Man so that he can't just throw Loki back off, he would score that point from Jane because he is still healthy, so it'd count double. But even then, Bill Wong and Thor can kind of score whichever of the like bottom 2 and middle that they want.
yeah. The fact that 2 of those models ended up one short from the middle is painful.
Yeah,
Um,
it's certainly rough. So yeah, Wong heals Bill and walks to the middle.
yep.
The heal on Bill, I think, was because Black Cat could theoretically, or seemed reasonably able to like walk, grappling hook, strike, which again isn't likely to do 2 damage to Bill, but I don't want to leave that up to chance.
Right. All right. Seems like Loki is coming in as expected.
Hmm. And does he try to kill Spidey? Because yeah, I mean, if you get the kill, if you kill Spidey and then Black Cat can one shot Wong, which I mean, 4 damage, 4 dice with Pierce against 4 health, like not super likely, but not impossible. That keeps the game going.
Yeah.
Loki rolled very well,
He does hate Spider-Man. That's yeah.
but not well enough.
Yeah.
It's 5 hits to 3. I don't take the leadership because if I roll into a skull, that would mean I take an extra 2 damage effectively because of the ping. So
Yeah.
he takes 2 damage, and then that I think is mathematically game because I could just activate Spidey, throw Loki off the point, and then I have 4 secures, and Black Cat can't do
Yeah.
anything about that. He does go fourth Kingpin onto there, but again, Wong is healthy, so
Yeah. Yeah. This is a rough. PV is an incredibly good criminal syndicate
yes,
player. I think he was ranked number one in the world at one point on Longshanks.
yes.
I don't know if he still is, but yeah, I don't know. What do you think went wrong here, or like, is there anything that he could have done differently, maybe in squad construction, or
So I think there's an element of him not being super prepared for Asgard. He spent a
Mhm.
lot of this year kind of taking a break from Marvel.
Mm.
At another Texas event recently, Warzone Houston, him and I played in the finals of that. Um, and that was right before the restricted list changed, so we got to play Gamma Researcher, and that was my last hurrah with Brothers in Arms. But that was the first time that he had ever played against Asgard, like
Really?
new Asgard, and that was in September. And I don't know. I think there might be an element of just like not having the reps against
Yeah.
Thor.
I'm not sure what the solution is for, or like what the criminal counter is to him, or if people have figured that out. But
I think you just
yeah, you
can't
can't
play
go
the
for it.
traditional Kingpin style.
Yeah. I mean, that's very much like, can you kill my guys fast enough? And yeah, Thor totally can.
Yeah. Um, so Spidey had done a spender, then tried to throw. He in on the throw, and then just threw another attack. So it didn't kill Loki. I feel like I should have just done the impact webbing as my second attack there to try to push him off after that, but because now it is possible if Cat goes and one shots Wong, then the game will continue.
Easy, easy one shot. Come on.
Easy. Hey, it's something to go for, right?
Yeah, you got to play your outs.
Yeah. Um. God, yeah. I think his deployment maybe could have been a little bit better, right? Where like Loki was mispositioned um, to be able to get the middle scroll and move, or like he could have gone up and
Mhm.
pulled Kingpin back to safety and let someone else get the middle scroll.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah. So Cat just took an activated token, and just passed.
Fair, fair.
And so yeah, the game ends 16-15. So very close score, but I felt pretty in control of this game.
Yeah, I don't know. Thor being able to take on both Bullseye and Blizzard at the same time and stop them from scoring that whole side of the board did a ton of work.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. Not to diminish, like you set this up very well and played through it excellently. So
It is
yeah,
also it's six threat against five. Like despite being 2 miles, it's six threat against five threat.
that's
So
true.
you just on like math, you would hope that he can do that. I mean, he certainly did it easier than he probably should be able to. I mean, the model definitely does too much. Like, no one's arguing that he doesn't need to be nerfed.
That's true. I mean, it's really you have seven, or sorry, you have 8 points over there versus those five. So you would expect to win the bottom pretty
Yeah,
handily.
yeah. So I mean, I think deploy. You hate to say it comes back to deployment, right? But like the deployment in round one of Loki for him feels rough. Where like if he can grab the middle and then still walk back onto a point after being pushed, that feels good because then Ant Man can
Mm.
redeploy to like get in the fight earlier. Or if he lets someone else pick it up and reels Kingpin back in, that feels good because I can't put two attacks into him with Jane. Um,
And
yeah.
throwing the extract onto Ant-Man seemed like a really good play at the time, but Ant-Man really didn't do anything for the rest of the game, sort of as a result of not being able to transform. Um,
I like that play and like I think Dice punished him there because he needed like he walked over and he needed to do one damage with an attack to be able to pick up that free extract there and he whiffed.
yeah,
Where
that's true.
like because yeah, if he's holding that one more extract there, then this is a very different game because like he scored to 15.
Right.
So that I still like that move. Like, yes, it's bad for Ant Man. Maybe Ant Man should have gone somewhere else to try to keep his extract safe. Like, maybe Ant Man, instead of walking over there to take that point from me, should have come down here and like tried to divert Thor's attention from and like allowed Bullseye and Lizard to do more stuff after they flip.
Yeah. I don't
Uh,
know. It is. I understand not wanting to run extracts towards Thor, but
yeah.
yeah,
Especially with Thor's already holding one, so even if I drop it, like then I've got to get Wong over to it, and then I'm giving up the secures because then they're both standing on the same secure.
that's true. And you have a much better chance of getting off of Wong than other people. So
Yeah, and by the time Ant Man went over there, Thor had already activated, so it at least like guarantees. I mean, everyone had activated. I think Ant Man was the last activation of that round.
yeah,
Um, I don't know. It's tough. It Criminals feels like a very good matchup for Asgard. But I mean,
really
PV
good
definitely
criminals.
played it well. Like he is absolutely a very good player, and despite a few tiny misplays like the Kingpin not measuring the full distance to that scroll, I think things went okay. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, that was the last round of Don't Table Flip. In the end, I went 6-0, so there was it didn't have to come down to tiebreakers for that trophy, which was good. Um, and it was a really fun event. I'm very much looking forward to excuse me, to it happening again in 2025. Southern Heights Brewery is a really cool space. So happy to have this become a staple of the MCP community. I'd love to see more people travel in from out of state. We had I think one guy come in from Colorado. We had one guy come in from Illinois. We might have had a guy come out from California. Plus all just the other cities in Texas. So very
yeah,
well represented. Very happy to see more places getting their brewery tournaments because they're always a lot of fun.
yeah. When are we gonna start or maybe we've already started the brewery circuit? We need
Yeah,
more brewery tournaments.
we've got us, Second Wind, CarlCon. Um,
That's three is good enough. All
Three's
right,
great.
I'm
Yeah.
declaring it. We have a circuit now.
Circuit declared. All right. Well, John, do you have any other things you'd like to say about this game or this event?
No, I mean, great game. Yeah,
All right, then thank you for joining us, everybody. Um, if you'd like to see more MCP videos from us, please give a comment or like reach out to anyone from Austin on Discord. Because I know I had a lot of fun making these. So we might even throw up some random games from local tournaments. See what happens. So if you'd like more, let us know. If not, be nice to me. But thanks for joining us, everybody. Thanks for joining me, John, and have a good night.